everyone and welcome. My name's Becky, and if you haven't seen my channel yet, make sure to check out my channel intro for a little bit more background. I'm a full-time video producer who just recently graduated from film school this past May. Today, I thought I'd share my favorite video production tools as of fall 2022. I'll be sharing them in order of production: pre, prod, and post. Just an FYI, none of this is sponsored, and these are all my personal opinions. I'll also have each product discussed linked in my description box. This is a long one, so sit back and relax, like what Mavy's doing right now. Let's go! Planning is the key to a good video shoot. There's plenty of ways you can plan your production, and here are my favorite tried and true applications and tools that you can use for pre-production. Celtx is my favorite scripting application. No, not that scripting. This scripting. I've been using Celtx since 2015, and it's been my favorite scripting application ever since. It's intuitive and it's free, with an option, of course, to have a paid subscription. A lot of the projects that I work on for my job involve reading off a script where the reader has not memorized the script. This is where the Teleprompter app comes in. It's a free app that allows you to enter bodies of text that scrolls like a teleprompter would on live television. When filming with my camera, I typically place the phone or iPad that has the app above or below the lens so that it looks like the person who is reading is looking into the lens. Just an FYI, in live television, the teleprompter is sort of projected or superimposed onto the lens, so the person is actually looking in the lens while they're reading off the teleprompter. This is a great free app for someone who's looking to read a script for a video on the fly. Depending on your preference, Google Drive or Microsoft Office have great programs for you to plan your production with. For example, you can use Google Slides or PowerPoint to create a lookbook, a storyboard, or a pitch. For my thesis, my director, shout out Rel, and I used Google Drive and planned our entire production in one folder with different slides, a huge main Google Doc that had all the information we needed and things like that. It really is up to preference which one you'd want to use. I personally like Google Drive because it's free, but both are cloud-based, which is really nice. Also, as for templates, there are plenty out there, not just for filming, but for other things. Finally, if you want to create a drawn digital storyboard, I would recommend the iPad. I personally have an iPad Pro and I love using it to create storyboards on Procreate. I also use it for other things like drawing and like Pinterest and like stuff like that. It's also nice to bring on set to take notes if you are a script supervisor. And of course, there's always the classic pen and paper if you don't want to do digital. Now onto the fun stuff, production. This is where most of the equipment comes into play. We'll start with cameras. There are different types of cameras for different styles of production, as many of you may already know. You'll get to know me as a Canon girly. I stay with them as much as possible. For vlogging, I personally recommend the Canon G6X Mark II. This is the vlogging camera that I personally own and am using for vlogging. I chose this one because it films in 1080 and is the best bang for your buck. If you want to shoot 4K video, you can get the Mark III, but it's a little bit steeper in price, and most vloggers don't even produce videos in 4K that I know of. That's more of like a short film or like something else, or like corporate videos. So for the purpose of vlogging, I'd recommend the Mark II because it is considerably less, and it still has a lot of the same features as the Mark III, just minus the 4K video. It also has a pretty good internal microphone. If you stand close to it and there isn't a lot of background noise, you can get some decent audio without like a lavalier or a boom mic or something. It also has an autofocus feature, which can be a double-edged sword when it doesn't want to work. It typically works pretty well. You just have to kind of make sure in the viewfinder that everything's still focused. The viewfinder is also easy to pop out. It pops out on top of the camera, which is helpful for when you want to just make sure you are filming yourself correctly. And it's small and it's easy to power on and off. For work, there are 3 cameras that I mainly use and one that I'm saving for. My first ever camera that I got when I was 15 years old was the Canon T6i, and I still use it to this very day. While the T6i is discontinued, you can find a great alternative in the T8i, which also has better video specs, and is currently around the same price point that I had with the T6i. These are great affordable options if you're just getting into photography or filmmaking. So the T8i features 4K video and Wi-Fi function, while the T6i has 1080 video, since this was around 2015 when I got it. And it also has the Wi-Fi function. And the Wi-Fi function allows you to connect your camera to your phone. If you're taking photos of yourself and you're far away from the camera and can't see the viewfinder, you can just look on your phone on your Canon app and you can see the photos from there, or you can download the photos wirelessly to your phone from the camera, which is really helpful when you don't have a computer or an SD card converter nearby. There are many lenses that you can buy to accompany this camera. My personal favorite is the EF 50mm 1.8 f-stop lens, which might sound like gibberish to most of you, but for non-camera buffs that means pretty portrait photos with blurry backgrounds. And for the ones that are interested in learning, it just means that you have a more open aperture, which allows more light to come in, and yeah. And all be all, the photos and videos just end up looking really pretty. This is actually the lens that I'm filming on right now. Not a Canon? Shocker. The next camera that I own is the Panasonic Lumix G7, which sounds similar to the Canon G7X, but they're different. I bought this one when I was 17. It's a mirrorless camera that can shoot in 4K video and also can shoot log, which means that the colors in the image are sort of flattened, which allows them to be better color corrected in the post-production process. For the price, it's a pretty good deal. However, I rarely use this camera because I find the software a little hard to use compared to the Canons, which are all pretty similar and intuitive. The next camera is the Canon EOS R. I use the Canon EOS R for my job currently. I don't own it, my job owns it, but I really love it. I'm saving for either this one or the next one that I'm going to mention. Like the Lumix G7, this also shoots in 4K and it films in log in Canon's own log format, C-Log. It's a full frame sensor, which means the sensor isn't cropped like some of the other cameras that I own. And it allows for better quality photos. However, in video format, it is cropped. So it is full frame when we are taking photos, but it is cropped when we are taking video, unfortunately. It's honestly not that big of a deal. It just means that the videos are a little bit more zoomed in. It comes with a 24 to 105mm lens, but my job provided a second lens, which is similar to my T6i lens. It is the RF 50mm 1.8 f-stop. So it's basically just a lens for a full frame camera, but it has the same specs as the one for my T6i. I've been using this camera since June 2022 and I've been able to create some great images with it. Finally, we have my dream camera, the EOS R5C. It runs for almost 4 times the price of the EOS R, but it is a Canon cinema camera. Think of this as the EOS R, but it can film in 8K and it is fully full frame. It also has internal video stabilization, which means if you're holding it, it's not gonna look as shaky as another camera would. It also doesn't have a limit for how long you can record, while the EOS R has a 30-minute limit. This can be good for events like weddings, bar mitzvahs, live events, things like that. The R5C also takes 42 megapixel photos, which means that the photos are just that much better quality. They're 12 megapixels better than the EOS R. It's gonna take me a hot minute to save up for this camera, but I think it's gonna be well worth the investment when I do end up getting it. My T6i has been holding up for the past 7+ years, so I believe if I get this one, which was released in February, it will last me at least that long. After a camera, you're gonna need a tripod. Here are some of my favorite tripods. My favorite standard tripod is the Manfrotto compact 65-inch tripod. I've had this one since 2017, and despite being $100, it is well worth the investment. You can position this tripod vertically or horizontally, which means you can make TikToks, you can make normal content, whatever you want. The new ones actually come with a phone holder that attaches to the plate, which can be helpful for any phone videos that you'd want to make. Despite being over $100, sometimes at Best Buy it goes on sale, so watch out for that. My most recent tripod purchase is the iSaddle dash mount. This is a small dash mount used for vlogging cameras or dash cams. This was only $7 from Amazon, and it was well worth it because the 3M sticky part is really solid in the fact that it will not move. Hopefully when I take it off, it does not destroy my car. But as for holding up as a tripod, it's good. It's really tiny. It's got a little gimbal so you can swivel your camera around as needed. And yeah, it's not that expensive. I definitely would recommend it. Manfrotto Pixi tripod is another great tripod I use for vlogging. It's a really tiny little stick that has the 3 little legs that come out. You can use it both to like hold your vlog camera and like talk, and you can also use it as propping it on like a surface or the floor to record as well. This thing is tiny. It can fit in almost any bag or purse. Finally, for phone users who want a fairly small tripod, I recommend the Atumek Tripod. This tripod is on Amazon and it stands up to about torso height, maybe a little bit higher, and it is meant for phones, but it's very compactable and it can fit in like a tote bag or a backpack. It's really tiny. It doesn't even look like a tripod when it's folded up. It's great for TikTok creators or people who want to take Instagram photos on the fly, and you can find this one on Amazon. If you thought we were done with cameras, not quite. A little bit of background. I've had my commercial drone license since 2018, and I've owned a drone for even longer. Here are my personal recommendations for drones. The first recommendation, which is kind of outdated, is the DJI Mavic Pro. This was my first drone that I bought when I was 17 years old, fresh out of junior year of high school. It's lasted me over 5 years and it's very tried and true, but sadly it's been discontinued. This Mavic Pro was more affordable compared to other drones at that time, and it had great video specs, 4K video. It was pretty tiny. The photo quality is kind of mid. It's 12 megapixels, so not great, but it's good enough for some realtors. Mainly the selling point would be the video, I would say, and as a video producer, I loved it. This baby got me through the rest of high school and all of college, and accompanied me on many real estate photo shoots. As a general rule, one battery usually lasts a mere 15 to 30 minutes, so you're gonna wanna buy more than one. So I also recommend a multi-battery charger alongside an extra battery, which can run for like $80, $90. I also bought a case for it and ended up sewing a little leopard print to kind of make it my own and make it a little girly, because there are so many men in the drone industry and there aren't that many women. Now onto my newest purchase, the DJI Mini Pro 3. This is an even more compact and lightweight drone. It just came out in May 2022, so it's pretty new. It can take 48 megapixels, that's 4 times as much as the Mavic Pro, and 4K video. I chose the RCN1 remote. You can choose between this and the one with the screen. I chose the one without the screen because it's compatible with many types of drones, versus the screen one is only compatible with the Mini Pro 3. However, the base only comes with one battery, and like I said, you're gonna need more than one battery for a drone. So I ended up getting the Pro expansion pack, which has 2 intelligent batteries, which can last 40 minutes, which is pretty nice. And it comes with a case, and it comes with extra propellers and things like that. It also comes with a triple battery charger, which is helpful, and I will say the batteries take forever to charge, but they last, which is good. As my professors would say, audio is just as important as image. Audio quality is often overlooked when recording video. So here are my favorite audio recording devices. Lavaliers are great for interviews or sit-down videos like this one. My favorite brands are Boya and Powerdewise. You can buy either one on B&H or Amazon. It's affordable and compact. You literally just clip it to your shirt. With the Boya one, you just gotta turn on the battery pack and that's it. They're wireless, which means no charging, which is great, other than the Boya one, which has just like a little tiny battery. I've used this on plenty of video shoots and the quality is great. The Blue Yeti is a great choice for producing podcasts or just making voiceovers. I use it for my job when I'm doing voiceovers for some videos. I recently bought mine on sale on Amazon during Amazon days, so I would recommend doing something like that because it's a little bit expensive, but it's worth the price. The Rode VideoMicro shotgun mic is a great mic to put on top of your camera. So a shotgun microphone captures anything in its direct path, meaning it's great for shooting a scene where you need audio from the path of the camera. It's also great for things like vlogging, and this one also comes with a windscreen, which means it covers the actual microphone and allows protection from like dust and particles and things like that. It also connects to the top of your camera, which allows it to be handless use, which is great for smaller production sets. Finally, the audio recorder that I own is the TASCAM DR-05x. This is a smaller audio recorder with two inputs, one being built into the audio recorder and the other being a 3mm jack output that you can use like a lavalier or a shotgun mic or something like that. This can be really helpful for 3 different types of potential problems. One being you need to record audio of something from far away and don't have the length for the lavalier or the shotgun mic. You can just have whoever you're filming just put it in their pocket and record their audio. Another is if you're already using the audio from your camera and you need another audio source. And then of course the first one is if you don't need an image, you just need audio. For most sets, you need a good lighting kit. You don't need to buy the most expensive one on the market. Personally, I like the EMART Lighting Kit from Amazon because it's pretty inexpensive. It has 3 lights, which is what you need. It comes with the stands, the umbrellas, the light bulbs themselves, all the plugs, things like that, and the carrying bag. Another tip I would say is if you really don't like the light bulbs, just go to a hardware store and buy different light bulbs. It works like a charm. Sometimes a good set means a backdrop. Backdrops can be used for a variety of creative outlets. TikToks, oh my god, there is a fox in my backyard. TikToks, short films or videos, podcasts, special effects, we love a good green screen, and even Poshmark and Etsy listings. If you're filming in your house, you might not have that much space for a big backdrop. In this case, I recommend the Impact BGS S12 V2 as a good backdrop support. It's from B&H, and I personally love this one because it goes up to about 10.5 feet and it goes about 12 feet wide. And I personally bought this one last year to replace the one that I had from when I was 12. It's pretty inexpensive but fairly sturdy. It doesn't come with any green screen backdrops or black and white canvases, so I would recommend buying those separately. Just make sure you know what the height and widths are for that so that you can properly fit it onto this backdrop. If you're using a cloth backdrop, you're going to get wrinkles. This can be a problem both aesthetically and practically, especially if you're using a green screen and keying out in post. To fix this, you can get some pretty inexpensive clamps from B&H. I love these because they're like 10 bucks and you get a ton, and they're all different sizes for whatever your needs are. Finally, the green screen I'd recommend is a cloth green screen. Not a specific brand, you can buy pretty much any one, but you need to make sure that it is not see-through because that can create problems, especially if you don't have a wall behind where you put the backdrop. And it's important to research the size so you know that it matches with the background support system. Other than that, the key to a good green screen is to properly light it. Now to my favorite process of them all, post-production. I love post because you can make whatever footage you got into whatever you want based on how you edit it, what clips you choose, how you choose to frame things, effects, all that fun stuff. Here are some post-prod staples. My favorite hard drive to store all my footage on is the LaCie 5TB rugged hard drive. I have about 10 LaCies now at this point, most of them being 5 terabytes, which is a lot. But as a video producer who usually films in 4K, you kind of need that much space. LaCie is also a trusted brand. I trust it more than other hard drive brands because I'm knocking on wood, but I have not had one of their drives fail. And I've had other drives fail and it has been a nightmare. To prevent losing any footage or any files, I would put each file that you want to save onto 3 separate places. For example, one would be on the cloud, one would be on a hard drive, and one would be on your computer. So for filming high-res footage, I really like using the SanDisk SD cards. I usually use the 64 gigabytes and above because I need that kind of space. Typically I use like 128, especially if you're on a longer shoot, depending on how much you're going to capture. This is my favorite memory card case from Amazon. Back in college, I saw a peer carrying this around and I immediately had to go look it up. It's great, it's really compact, it's inexpensive, and it has tons of slots for memory cards. It's a great place to put all of your cards in one spot. Last but certainly not least is my Adobe Creative Cloud subscription. This is my favorite post-production tool. I've been using Adobe since 2017. It's a little hard to learn at first, but with YouTube tutorials you can learn a lot. And what's funny is my dad actually used Premiere back in 1996 when he was making his own videos. Yes, it's a little bit pricey, but you get so much for $30 a month. I can create motion graphics in After Effects, edit photos in Photoshop and Lightroom, organize all my files and rename them in Bridge, and color correct and edit in Premiere. Plus, they offer free courses online every year through their Adobe Max conference, although I've learned most of my knowledge through school and YouTube. I'm an Adobe girly through and through. Now comes the question, what are some reputable sources? Here are my top 3 places to buy equipment from. B&H Photo is a staple for all equipment, video, and photo. I've shopped here since 2017. B&H will have no doubt the best prices on camera and video equipment. They have shipping rates comparable to Amazon in the sense it'll only take about a couple days if their items are in stock. B&H has production equipment ranging from DSLRs to professional cinema cameras that producers use on big sets. They have one main warehouse in New York City, and I was luckily able to tour a little bit of it last summer when I visited with my friend Ralph. Best Buy is also a great option for equipment. They have most of the cameras and equipment that I've mentioned here, and it's where I got my first camera and my first drone from. Their customer service is always great, and you can always buy an extended warranty on whatever you are purchasing if needed. Finally, we have Amazon. They usually have pretty good deals, especially on equipment like lighting, but you really have to look at the source because sometimes you can accidentally get caught up in something a little fishy. So just make sure you know the source, and if you don't, make sure to read the reviews on the product and on the company. I usually buy equipment like lighting from Amazon more than B&H. And if I buy equipment from Amazon, it'll be because it has a faster shipping rate than B&H at times. And that wraps it up. Thanks so much for sticking with me if you have for this long. If you've stuck around for this whole video, I really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helps any future filmmakers in need of any equipment. I've gotten so much information from YouTube myself, so it feels good to potentially give back to others. Comment your thoughts on the equipment I mentioned or any other equipment that you think is good. Thanks for being here, and if you like my video, make sure to like and subscribe. Bye!